So I feel like, especially right now, it is really difficult to find a full face of beginner makeup for an affordable price. And so I put together a list of products that I feel like are really good and beginner friendly that are under $100. Now, if you wanted to go out and like splurge and spend a couple more dollars, you could, because I didn't include a primer, I didn't include a lip liner, I also didn't include a setting powder or a like brow wax, but it was kind of a conscious thought not to include those because I feel like those aren't as beginner friendly items. So I'm actually wearing my full face of beginner friendly makeup right now. I will say that as far as cream products, I didn't use any cream products because I feel like they can be just a touch more finicky than their powder counterparts. That being said, there are a lot of really great cream products, but for the purposes of this video, I didn't include any because I did feel like I wanted it to be really good, simple products to use, etc. So let's get into it. So the total of all of these products come out to $96.62. Now again, if you were to splurge and maybe add a lip liner or maybe some brow wax, it'll probably be more like $130. But like I said, I didn't use any of those products. So everything that I have listed here, I have on my face. And this look turned out really beautiful, I think. So let's get started. I'm just gonna read them off in order. So for brows, I used the e.l.f. Instant Lift Brow Pencil. This retails for $30. Now, it's not the most precise tip. I don't know if you can see, like, that tip isn't all that small, but I do feel like you can fill in your brows really easily, and it doesn't tend to be like super bold. So even if you went in a little heavy-handed, you're gonna be fine with this. Really easy to use. It also does have a spoolie on the other side. I will say I don't typically use the spoolie, but it's only $3, so it's really an affordable thing to use. Next we have eyeshadows. So I did include 2 in the price because I felt like sometimes just one eyeshadow isn't enough, and especially if you're like playing around with different makeup, you may want the option of having 2. They are very small. The first is the Wet n Wild Color Icon palettes. This one is Sundays, but they have a lot of different options for these Color Icon palettes. The reason I chose this is because they are very easy to work with. They're pigmented, but they're easy to blend out as well. I think that just overall, these are really easy formulas to use. And these only retail for $3.18, so they're really affordable. They're easy to use. You're not going to regret buying one of these. Next, we have the bite-sized e.l.f. palette. Now I'm wearing the Color Icon one today, but these ones are really similar in that they are easy to use. Let me just open this one up. Oh, they're very easy to use. This one is very bad. They're super affordable, and honestly, you just can't go wrong with these guys. So that's the reason I chose these 2. Like I said, I'm wearing this one. This one's $3.18. This one's $3, but they're both completely worth it. Next, let's talk about eye primer, because at least for me, I do think that eye primer is exceptionally important, and maybe not everybody thinks that as well, but my eyeshadow creases like crazy, and I do need an eyeshadow primer. So I included this Photofocus eye primer by Wet n Wild. I have used a lot of eye primers. The one that I typically use is this one or the Urban Decay one. I like them both, but this one is the more affordable option, and it will make your eyelids budge proof. My eyelids are incredibly oily, and so if I don't use a primer, things don't stay. I will say, so at least for my skin type, this makeup is suitable for probably normal to dry skin. If you have oily skin, you may have to tweak which products you get a little bit, especially when it comes to the complexion products. With the eye products, you should be fine either way. But for the complexion products, you may have to just tweak things slightly, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I do have dry skin, so if you don't have dry skin, some of these products may not be the best. The eyes, you can still get away with using. As far as foundation, like I said, I do have drier skin. I don't always find it necessary to wear a primer, and I think that if you get the right foundation, you can really get away with this. I included the L'Oreal True Match foundation in this. Now, this one is geared a little bit more towards normal to dry skin. This is a light coverage foundation. If you are on the drier side, I would probably recommend, or sorry, the more oily side, I probably recommend maybe the Maybelline Fit Me. The matte poreless one is very good, and it's very affordable. The Wet n Wild Photofocus foundation is also a very affordable option. That one just doesn't work for me because my skin is textured, it's dry, it like shows every little thing. So I went with this. Now, this one is probably the most expensive product that I put in here, I believe. So the L'Oreal True Match is $14.97, and I do think that this is worth the price. It comes in a little bit of a dropper container, and also, important note is that I think that more beginner friendly foundations are the more transparent ones. I think that it's important to get something that you can build up and or is going to be fairly transparent starting out, because it's less finicky. You're not going to have to worry about things as much. It's not going to get as crazy as fast, which I think is why a lot of people do stick with BB cream, CC cream, stuff like that. Now, I didn't include a BB cream or CC cream. I did want a tiny bit more coverage, but this is barely a tiny bit more coverage. I did actually put like 2 layers of this and like built it up. It's a very, very good beginner friendly foundation. I just realized that I didn't give you a price for this Photofocus Eyeshadow Primer. It's also very affordable. This one is $9.47. So really, really cheap, especially compared to like an Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. If you find your eyeshadow creasing like within the first hour of you putting it on, you definitely need an eye primer, and this one is a great option for those with oily lids like me. You know what, I always joke with people that like overall my skin is dry, but my eyeballs and my nose are my T-zone instead of my forehead and my nose. So my eyelids are very dry, oily. My eyelids are very oily, but the rest of my skin is so dry and it gets very textured very easily. So I need something that's going to keep my eyeshadow super budge proof. Alright, moving on to concealer. This one is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. This has got a satin finish. I love this guy. So this one is only $7, so again, super, super affordable. If you are on the more oily side, the OG e.l.f. Camo Concealer, the 16 wear, is probably going to be a better bet for you. I have both of them. I use both of them on occasion. But this one is better for my dry skin folks. I typically will apply kind of as a highlight to some of the rest of my face, just like a non-glittery highlight to the rest of my face and my under eyes, because I do have dark circles. This one it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And again, it's only $7. You can't go wrong with this. Next, we have bronzer. So this one took me a little bit to decide because like I said, I think that cream products can be a little bit more difficult to get used to, and I wanted this to be a very beginner friendly, cheap video. I ended up going with the L'Oreal Infallible bronzer. Now this is a newer product, and if you haven't tried it, you should. I waited way too long to try this. It is so soft. Like when you touch it, you just want to keep playing with it because it's so soft. It is $12.79, so it is a little bit more on the expensive side. If this matters to you, it does come with a mirror. So like this part opens up and then, oh, if I can get it open, and this bottom part opens up. Try not to blind you. But it is just like, watch this. Like, look at how much product came off on my finger. The $12.79 I think is a completely worth it price. And you can really build this one up. Like, it's not going to get patchy on you. It really does look beautiful. And again, it is what I'm wearing. Every product that I'm mentioning is something that I'm wearing right now. Next, we have blush. Now, I waffled a lot on which blush to show you guys because, for a couple of reasons. I love blush, but I wanted it to be an affordable option. I also wanted it to be very, very foolproof. I wanted it to be not a cream, which I have a lot of cream blushes that I love, but I didn't want this one to be a cream. So I went back and forth on what I wanted to share with you guys quite a bit because of that. I ended up landing on this Color Icon blush by Wet n Wild. Now, this one does have a little bit of a shimmer in it, so if you don't like that, you could always pick something like e.l.f. makes a lot of really great ones, so does NYX. NYX Sweet Cheeks blush is non-shimmery, and it's also really easy to use. Those ones are a little bit more pigmented though. But when I swatch this, like, this is, first of all, a beautiful color, but it also does create a really beautiful flush on the cheeks. I'm gonna build it up a little bit. I think that being able to build up a product too is important for a beginner. But you see how that gives, like, it's very soft, kind of a beautiful blushed finish. I like that. And this one is only $3.18, so not only is it a good, easy to work product, it's a really pretty product as well. $3.18, you can't beat that price, and it is a decent product for the, well, I shouldn't say decent, it's a good product for the price. It's a good product, period. I have some higher end blushes that I feel like don't work quite as well as this one. So it's beautiful. I do love it. Next we have the highlighter. Now this one, again, I waffled back and forth on whether or not to pick this one because this one is, it's new to me. It's not a newer product, but it is new to me. This is the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. Now the reason that I picked this one is, first, like, it is not a blinding highlight that you're gonna put on and be like, oh my gosh, that was way too much. Like, it almost doesn't look like a highlighter in a pan. But when you swatch it, I don't know if you can see the reflect on that, it's just so soft. Which is kind of why I picked it, because I felt like sometimes the blinding highlights can be really hard to work with. But do you see how that just gives like a really pretty sheen? It's just easy to work with, and honestly, it is beautiful. It is in a class all on its own. It's quickly become, like I said, I got it really recently, it's quickly become one of my favorite highlighters of all time. And it's only $4.99, so super, super affordable, like totally worth the price. I love this highlight. So beautiful product, totally worth the price. On my lips, I didn't include a lip liner, although if you're struggling with a really precise line, that may be an option. But honestly, I just find that for most beginners, a lip liner is an extra step that most don't want to have to worry about. So I did not include a lip liner for that reason, because I wanted to keep this as beginner friendly as humanly possible. The Color Fetish lipstick in Milani is what I chose. This one is in the shade Sensual. I love this lipstick. I tried it out and it is so light on the lips. If you don't want to feel like you're wearing something, this is a great option. I mean, you can feel it, but it's not like a super heavy liquid lipstick. It's not like that at all. You're not going to really like feel it there. It's not something that you're conscious about. I think it's beautiful. I think that it wears very nicely. Obviously it's not going to be completely like kiss proof, anything like that, but it is a beautiful formula and I enjoy it very much. This one retails for $8.97 for a lipstick. That's really good. Typically lipsticks are in that range, so I think that that's excellent. I did also include a lip gloss that I really enjoy, partially because I sometimes feel like you want something on your lips but you don't want a full-on color, and so that's why I did include a lip gloss as well. This one is the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. This one is in the shade 013 Ruby. These are only $7.99, and I don't think I put this on, but they're really pretty. It adds a really pretty sheen to the lips. It's not, if you don't like a sticky lip gloss, this is going to be great for you. It's not a sticky formula. It feels like a really thick oil, kind of. That's probably a bad explanation. It doesn't feel oily, but it's not sticky at all, which I love. So altogether, like I said, these products are only $96.62, which is amazing. Like that, this is a full face of makeup. Like I said, if you wanted, you could add a few other products. For instance, brow gels, really common, stuff like that, but I did want to specifically keep this under $100. Everything that I price checked is from Amazon, because I wanted this to be like something easy that you can get your hands on. Just to review, these products are, I should probably have put this in order before I started. First we have the True Match, L'Oreal True Match Foundation. The concealer was the e.l.f. Hydrating Foundation. The bronzer, I typically will use like a bronzer / contour product because I don't want to have to worry about using two different products. The bronzer is the Infallible, L'Oreal Infallible. This one is a newer product, but it is beautiful. Like it really has quickly. I'm like, why didn't I buy this sooner? Beautiful product. For blush, we have the Color Icon from Wet n Wild. This one is pearlescent pink. Highlight is this e.l.f. Pure Nude highlighter. So pretty. It's honestly hard to beat this even with high-end formulas. Like, this one is the most subtle highlighter ever. For lips, we have the Maybelline Lifter Gloss. This is beautiful. Obviously, I'm wearing it on top of lipstick, but you don't need to. Like, this really is a beautiful formula without lipstick. And then the Milani Color Fetish lipstick. Like I said, I didn't include a lip liner, but if you wanted to spend maybe like $10 extra, you can get some really good ones. Milani has a great one, so does Revlon. I actually really like Rimmel's as well. NYX has some great ones, so there are a lot of really good options for you beginners out there. For mascara, I used the Sky High Maybelline Sky High Lash Sensational mascara. Now the one thing with this is a very wet formula and it has kind of a bendy wand. If you don't like that, that's fine. I would probably pick a different one. I know the Essence Lash Princess mascara is a lot of people's favorites, so maybe that one might be a better option for you. For eye primer, I chose the Photofocus Eye Primer by Wet n Wild. I did include, and both of these are included in the price of $96. I added up with both of these together. Obviously these are very specific colors, so if you wanted to pick a different color, they both come in a variety. Like there's a more nude version of both of these. There's like a more blue green type situation going on in both of them, so you'll have any color that you could possibly want, but they are solid drugstore formulas. The first one is the Color Icon from Wet n Wild, or the Bite Size palettes from e.l.f. Both beautiful, both worth the money. For eyebrows, I did choose another e.l.f. product. It was the Instant Lift Brow Pencil. So those were all of the products all together. That is what I used on my face today. And I do think that they are very, very beginner friendly products. And they're totally worth the price as well. So if you're looking to get into makeup, you're not sure what to buy, you're a beginner, and you're looking for what might be good for you, this is what I suggest. Honestly, play around with the different colors a little bit, because like I said, these are colors formulated for me. Like, obviously, I'm not as dark as some, and I'm a lot lighter than others, so this isn't going to work for everybody. The same with this color, like maybe this is not enough for your cheeks, and honestly it is a very light blush. In person it looks a little bit more than what it does on camera, but it is a lighter blush, so if you're darker than me, maybe pick something within this line that's a tiny bit darker. The other thing to keep in mind is that, like I said, my skin is dry, it's on the textured side. I do worry about oils on my nose, on my eyelids, but that's pretty much it. So if you have a different skin type than me, maybe consider for foundation the Maybelline Matte Poreless Fit Me foundation. For concealer, I might consider the e.l.f. 16 Hour Concealer. But other than that, you're probably going to have really good luck just playing around with these products. I do think they're just good overall products. That's it for me today. If you have any questions, let me know. I'd be happy to help you pick out some other products. And honestly, if you were trying to maybe add in a setting powder for oily skin, the Wet n Wild Photofocus powder is a great option. I am not wearing it today because, like I said, I was keeping things under $100, and I don't get incredibly oily. Like, sometimes I'll powder my nose and that's about it. But if you are looking for something that only adds a few dollars, that's a good option as well. That's it for me. Good luck just trying out makeup and trying out some of these products, trying out a full face, building up your makeup collection. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!